My name is Suzi Stolte, and I am the Director of Marketing and Communications for the JP Opioid Interaction Awareness Alliance. Our mission is to raise awareness about opioids and benzodiazepines and the dangers of taking those two drugs together. I lost my youngest daughter to an opioid benzo interaction, and my goal in working with this organization and doing this work is to help prevent the kind of death that our family experienced. Our organization hosts a golf tournament every year to raise money, and it's very challenging to recruit golfers because during the summer there are so many golf tournaments and for worthy causes in Colorado. I heard about Colorado Under Par through a Facebook post and reached out to see what the organization provided and how we, as a small all-volunteer nonprofit, an ideal match. As a small nonprofit, our challenge every year was always recruiting enough golfers to make the golf tournament raise a reasonable amount of money. And it's very challenging, again, as a small all-volunteer nonprofit. Where do you find those golfers? Facebook posts, word of mouth, just board members reaching out to people. But even all of that work was not enough to ever get us more than 80 golfers. And while 80 golfers did indeed help us raise money, it was never the amount of money that I knew was possible if we had a sold out golf tournament. So when I learned about Colorado Under Par, I knew that it was going to be worth a conversation with them because this is the focus of their work. This is all they do. They work with and reach out to golfers. They have a newsletter focused on golfers. And I felt that if we could work with them, we could take that 80 number of golfers that we'd had for a number of years and bump that up and reach the goal of a sold out golf tournament, 144 golfers. Our golf tournament is something that we've been doing as of 2025 for 9 years. At the 6-year mark, we were at 80 golfers and had been stuck there for the previous 2 years. That was very frustrating, and I was looking for a way to bump that number up and eventually hit the 144 golfer mark, which is what sells out a golf course. So the first year that we worked with Colorado Under Par, we were able to get 3 new sponsors. That right there paid for the cost of working with Colorado Under Par and gave us more golfers, greater exposure. And right there after that first year, I knew it was a really ideal match for us. And eventually last year, our 9th year, thanks to working with Colorado Under Par, we did indeed have 144 golfers and did also have a waiting list for our event. What I loved about working with Colorado Under Par was how easy the onboarding process was. They set up an initial meeting to learn about our organization, which I really appreciated that they wanted to know what we were about. And they also wanted to know, given that we'd done 6 golf tournaments prior to our partnering with them, how we'd run the tournament and what we saw as our struggles and also what we saw as our successes. And again, as I said to them in our initial meeting, our struggles were that we had hit a plateau, 80 golfers that we didn't seem to be able to top that. They also asked about all the details of how we ran the tournament, and they really were willing to dive in and find out exactly how the tournament was run. And again, what were our challenges? What were our successes? And based on that information, they were able to build a plan for us. And my most pressing need when I contacted them was I knew I needed marketing help. I knew I needed a way to reach out to a target audience who was very passionate about golf. Through their very extensive mailing list, newsletter, etc., we were able to indeed reach out to people who were interested not only in golf, but who had unfortunately had experience with losing a friend or a family member to an opioid death. And so that combination of that passion for golf and a passion for our mission was able to help us over the next 3 years grow from that 80 players to 140 players. And I really felt that success was due so much to how much time they took in the beginning to learn about us, our mission, and what our needs were. The best part about working with Colorado Under Par on marketing was that they have a very large mailing list of people whose interest is golf. And people sign up voluntarily to be on these mailing lists. So you know that they have an interest in golf. So to work with Colorado Under Par and have them, this amazing target audience of golfers that we as a small nonprofit have never had was really, I guess I would describe it as a miracle. They did Facebook posts, listed our organization and listed our event. They featured our event in one of their newsletters. So it gave us exposure that we had never had because we didn't have access to that target audience. That was such a wonderful benefit because we never would have gotten those 3 sponsors had it not been for the marketing that Colorado Under Par did. Working with Colorado Under Par was a 5-star experience. They bring to the table so much background, not only in marketing events, but also in executing events. And even though we did use them solely for marketing, they were an amazing sounding board for things that I was doing for the event that I wanted to see. What had they seen X work or Y work? And they were willing to brainstorm with me ideas about things that we might do to raise money for other kinds of things during the event, selling mulligans, doing a silent auction, having a prize drawing, or events on the course. They gave me a reference for different organizations that provide on-course events. And those events that we did on course that were recommended by Colorado Under Par helped us raise 1 year an additional $4,000. I would say to anyone looking to work with Colorado Under Par, if you've never run a golf tournament before, or even if you're experienced in running a golf tournament, they can bring to the table experience, insight that is so valuable in helping you make your event a success. The first 6 years of our event, we sold something that in golf tournament parlance is known as a super ticket. It comes with drink tickets and drawing tickets. We use string, we use mulligans, and we had sold those for a flat price for the first 6 years. The best advice I got from Andrew was that rather than having 1 level of super ticket, to have 3 levels of super tickets priced at various amounts, obviously, with either additional string, additional drink tickets, more drawing ticket. And honestly, I was skeptical about whether that was something that our golfers would be willing to spend money on. And I tried it that first year after Andrew suggested it to me. And it was such an amazing success that we continued it every year since. And it has been a huge source of additional revenue by having multiple layers of super tickets. So I think it's just that. It's the expertise they bring, and it's their experience from running golf tournaments and seeing what golfers are interested in and what golfers are willing to pay, and then being able to share that knowledge with other nonprofits to help them be successful. If you are a nonprofit, large or small, and have never run a golf tournament before, or have run a golf tournament, but it's not been as successful as you would have liked, the best time and money you can invest is to work with Colorado Under Par, because a partnership with them will 100% ensure that your event will be more successful than it was before you entered into such a partnership. Sometimes some of the things that might be suggested to you might seem unworkable, or you might think that your target audience wouldn't go for something that Colorado Under Par has suggested. Be open-minded. Let them and their breadth of experience with putting on golf tournaments of all sizes, let them help guide you, because they know it, they've seen it. They've worked it for tournament after tournament for all the years that they have been in business, and you will benefit from their experience no matter how much experience you have had. He's always more than willing to be a sounding board to you. If you have an idea, he'll be honest with you if he thinks an idea is a good one or one that you might want to either rethink, or he might have an idea about how to do something better that you've put on the table. He's always very generous with his time and expertise. And it's one of the things that I feel makes Colorado Under Par such a special organization, is because they are in it to help their customers be successful. That is their main priority. They want the organizations that they work with. They want the organizations that they work with to be successful. I don't think you can ever go wrong if you are an organization on the fence about whether or not you want to invest the time and the money to work with Colorado Under Par. It proved highly successful for us, and I'm 100% confident that any organization that chooses to work with Colorado Under Par will see that same level of success.